Hi, I'm Jamie Andreessen, a work at home mom passionate about helping entrepreneurs like you build a thriving laser business. Whether you're just starting out, looking to grow, or ready to scale your business, this podcast is for you. We'll dive deep into the world of lasers and other machine crafting equipment, cover topics like business strategies, mindset shifts, customer experience, and creative inspiration. I'll share my own experience navigating business with young kids, building a successful shop. Get ready to learn, grow, and have some fun. Welcome to Party with a Laser. Hello, and welcome to episode number 13 of Party with a Laser. Today, we're going to talk about when and how to say no to custom orders without feeling guilty. If you've ever gotten that one-off request that makes you pause, overthink, or spiral into, maybe I should just make it, this episode is your permission slip to take a breath, step back, and protect your peace. Today, we're going to talk about the real cost of custom orders, when it makes sense to say yes, and how to say no professionally without feeling guilty. Let's dive in. Custom orders can be amazing. They connect you with your customers, they spark new ideas, and sometimes they lead to bestsellers. But they can also totally derail your workflow. Here's what I've learned from saying yes to too many custom requests. They take more time than you think. Design, messaging back and forth, proofs, edits. On the surface, it might look like a really quick project, but what you don't see up front is the communication cycles that comes with it. You might go back and forth with the customer 3 or 4 times just to clarify the vision, what font they like, what color they want, what they want it to look like when it's done. Then you're making a mock-up, waiting for approval, maybe tweaking it once or twice, and only then do you actually get to cut and make it. What seems like a 15-minute project can easily turn into an hour or more, and if you're not charging accordingly, you're losing time and profit. Next is they interrupt your production rhythm. When you're working in batches, whether it's ornaments, keychains, tags, or signs, you get into a flow. You're efficient. Your settings are dialed in, your materials are prepared, and when a custom order comes in, especially one that's different from your usual production, it breaks the rhythm. Suddenly, you're reconfiguring your layouts, pulling different materials, testing settings, and stopping everything else to focus on one single item. It's like trying to bake one cupcake in the middle of baking 100 cookies. It just throws everything off. And honestly, sometimes they don't align with your brand or your creative direction. This is one of the hardest ones to say out loud, but it's so important. Not every idea is a good fit for your shop, and that's okay. Maybe it's a style you don't work in, or something you wouldn't feel proud to share or list alongside your regular work. If your brand is whimsical and colorful, and someone wants a sleek, all-black modern sign, yes, you could do it. You have the skills, but should you? Over time, taking on too many off-brand requests can dilute your style and conflict your audience. And worse, it can make you feel creative disconnected from your business and your build. And the worst part is, when you say yes out of guilt, you can end up feeling resentful, rushed, or burned out. Been there, done that. Let's talk about the cost of custom work. Say someone asks you to make a personalized sign that you don't normally make. You might think it's just one order, but here's what it really involves. Time to message back and forth. You don't just get a regular hit go. This usually takes a back and forth exchange, clarifying what they want, showing examples, asking for names, date, colors, font styles, maybe even inspiration photos. And then you wait for them to respond. And they might not respond quickly. Sometimes a single order means 3 or 4 or even 5 messages before you can even get started. Plus, finding the font that they want, if they're not choosing from your normal font, you might sit there and go through 1,000 fonts to try to find the one that they're looking for. I once had somebody that was requesting a very specific font because they wanted it to match another name sign that they had for another baby. And it took me a really long time, even using the app, What's the Font? It took hours and hours to find the correct font. Time that I wasn't planning on when I originally took this order. Time to design or alter files. If it's a custom request, you're either creating something from scratch or modifying an existing design. This means opening your design software, adjusting layouts, resizing for the specific request, or tweaking elements to fit their idea. And often, that design only gets used once. You're investing creative time into something that won't be reused or resold. especially for a personalized or a custom project. Next is test cuts or prints. Depending on the material or the complexities, you might need to run a test file first, especially if you're using new settings. Depending on the material or the complexity, you might need to run a test file first, especially if you're using new settings, new materials, or you're layering designs. That's time and material cost. You might burn a piece of wood, waste ink, or need to tweak the design a few times before it looks right. You don't always get it perfect on the first try, especially trying something new or detailed. Next is setting time you want to spend on a bulk run. With bulk production, everything is prepped, materials are stacked, files are set, your machine is dialed in. But with one-off custom items, you're setting up everything from scratch, loading a new file, adjusting positions, switching out materials, or sometimes even changing your laser settings completely just for that one item. It slows everything else down and interrupts the batch flow. And lastly, the packaging and shipping of a one-off item. After all that work, you're still packaging and shipping just one item. You need to create a label, wrap it carefully. Maybe you even have to go buy a new box because nothing that you have will fit. And it might seem small, but all those just little one more thing moments really just add up when your time is already stretched. Even if they're paying extra, custom orders often eat into your time, energy, and the ability to work on your production line, especially during busy seasons. Let's be honest, not all custom requests are bad. There are moments when saying yes makes sense and actually support your business goals. So how do you tell the difference between a smart custom project and one that's going to burn you out? Here are some green flags. The first, if it aligns with your existing product line. This is one of the easiest yeses. If someone asks you for a small variant on something that you already offer, maybe a different name, phrase, or color option, and it doesn't require creating a new design or testing an unfamiliar material, it's probably worth doing. It still fits your style, your materials, your process, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel to make it happen. Think of it like adding sprinkles to your usual recipe, not baking a brand new cake. The second green flag, if it's a repeatable design that could become a listing. Sometimes a customer request is actually a test drive for a new product. If someone asks for something that you know others would want, that's a big yes. My current bestseller is actually something that I would have never thought of on my own. I had a customer come up to me and ask if I could make something for her shop, and I said yes. And I ended up adding it to my catalog of things that I offer, and it is now my #1 bestseller. The next green flag is if a wholesaler requests for a large quantity. Custom work can feel very worth it if it comes with a large volume. If someone wants 50, 100, or more of something, and it's within your capacity, the custom request becomes a great opportunity. The time you spend designing and prepping it balances out by the scale of the order. You can batch your work, streamline production, and even earn more per hour. This is especially true for corporate gifting, event favors, or custom branded projects. The next green flag is if it's a loyal customer you enjoy working with. There are some customers who supported you from years and years. They've ordered before, left reviews, told their friends, cheered you on during your launches. If one of those people sends you a kind request for something a little different, it might feel good to say yes, even if it's not something you typically offer. The relationship can be worth it more than the revenue, and those feel-good moments are part of what makes handmade business so rewarding. The next green flag is if it's genuinely exciting for you to create. Let's not forget you're a creative person, and sometimes a request comes through that sparks something in you. You get excited. You immediately picture how you make it. You've already reaching for your sketchbook or your design software before you even reply. That kind of yes is worth listening to. Just make sure you're choosing it for excitement, not obligation. A passion project can reunite your creativity and lead to new ideas, collections, or skills. Final thought, saying yes isn't bad as long as you intentionally ask yourself these questions. Will this help me grow my business in the way I want to go? Does it add value without draining my time or energy? Could this lead to more sales or repeatable products? If the answer is yes, then great, move forward with confidence. If not, it's more than okay to politely decline and protect your creative energy for what matters most. So saying yes is great when it's strategic. But now let's talk about the real magic of saying no. So here are some ways that you can say no. Thank you so much for your request. At this time, I'm not taking on custom designs outside of my current offerings. This sounds like a fun idea. While I'm not offering that type of customizations right now, I'll absolutely keep it in mind for the future. I'm focusing on ready to ship and repeatable designs this season to keep turnaround times quick. So I'm not offering fully customized orders at the moment. You don't own a long explanations. Keep it kind, direct, and professional. If you want to gently redirect customers without just saying no, here's a few ideas. Point them to your personalization options, like name fields or monograms. Offer a semi-customized listings with limited choices, such as font, colors, layouts. Create a custom request form with minimal pricing and turnaround times. It helps filter out requests that aren't a good fit. Keep a custom idea notebook. If a request inspires you, you can add it to your design list later. Saying no now doesn't mean no forever. It just means you're protecting your time, creativities, and your boundaries today. So friends, if you've been struggling with how to say no to custom orders, I hope this gives you the words, the confidence, and to remind you that business gets to work for you, not the other way around. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you're making space for something better today, something you want to create. Thank you so much for tuning in to Party with a Laser. Until next time, stay creative, set those boundaries, and don't forget, saying no is sometimes the most powerful way to say yes to yourself. Bye, guys. If you're looking for more resources, head on over to partywithalaser.com where you'll find show notes, all the links from today's episode, the blog, and so much more. If this episode was helpful for you, awesome. The greatest compliment I could receive from you is a rate, review, and subscribe on the podcast. Not only will this allow us to connect again on future episodes, it lets me know that I'm providing you with value, information, and helps other people find this content more easily. I'm truly appreciative of your support. Have a great day and see you next time.
BN. Have a great day. Bye-bye.